The dude said, he's looking like Spider-Man. I said, that's right, baby. Call me Spider-Man. I'll take that from ESPN.
Punk-ass ESPN honorable mention. They didn't see it was only game on TV. I must hit this dude. I hit Ronnie Jenkins so hard. Flipped him over, run through tackle. And that dude's and the commentator's like, oh, you may see that again tonight. That was a hit right there.
Like top 10 he was talking about?
Yeah, man. And then I got like an email 2 weeks later like, oh, we missed your play, but we wanted to recognize. I was like, you dirty motherfuckers.
How they miss a play, though? They got so many damn cameras.
Old lowly San Diego State back then, man, before it raised up to where everybody seeing us.
That was the stepping stone we needed.
It was
Appreciate
you know, I did my job.
That's why we here. That's why we here.
Legacy. 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 Legacy.
Welcome back to the Aztec Legacy Show. Today I got a good one for you. Every time I told somebody he was coming on the show, everybody was like, oh no, watch out. So I'm so honored and so excited to have this guy. I actually, the crazy part is, I've only met him a couple times, but those couple times were enough. And to say, I need this guy on the Aztec Legacy Show, and I need all you young Aztecs and future Aztecs to know this guy. So it's an honor and a pleasure to welcome Mr. Rico Curtis to the show.
My boy, I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Now, this show is about bringing the past to the present to blessing the future.
Absolutely.
And I'm trying to bridge the gap. I'm trying to make sure these young boys know who was there before them. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna get some of their stories too. But
absolutely.
But we got to hear about the the firsts, the pioneers, the guys that set the tone for what San Diego State was all about.
That. Yeah, we was involved in that, man. But it was dudes before us too.
Absolutely.
Know what I mean? So it was kind of especially when I got there, it was it was known that San Diego State had dope wideouts and dope DBs. Mm-hmm. Linemen were dope because we had Kyle Turley and Ephraim Salam who had long NFL careers. So we were always good in the trenches, but wideout was coming into the phrase because back then it was a passing league. You know what I mean? Them boys wasn't even running the ball really. Mm-hmm. And then DBs, we were good at defense as far as covering, but not known. We didn't have a reputation of being hitters or intimidating at all. Until. I like to think so.
Yes. Until. So let's just start off by finding out where you're from, and then what kind of sports you grew up doing.
I'm from Texas, Orange, Texas, a little small town in Texas, about maybe a minute from Louisiana on the 10. So I grew up literally in the swamp, right? Got it. And then my father was in the federal corrections, so he was a CO and then later an assistant warden. That's what moved us to San Diego when it was about 10th grade, I believe. Okay. And so I came there, and I always say it was funny because in Texas you get about 5,000, 10,000 people at your games, and when I came to Terrasana over here, it was like 100.
Where'd you go, to Sarah?
I went to Sarah. Yeah. And I was like, where is everybody at? You know what I mean? But it just wasn't the same thing out here, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? But it was a chance to shine. And growing up, all I played was football. I mean, I like to say I'm a lucky individual because I played tackle football for 30 years straight. You know what I mean? Which I don't know if there's a lot of people that can say that. You know what I mean? I started when I was 4 playing tackle.
That's crazy.
Retired at 34, so honestly it's like 31 years. You know what I mean? And still walking around good. May have, like we said earlier, put a little extra lather on. Yeah. Have to protect the bones.
Absolutely, you know absolutely.
But it's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah, football was different. It was a way of life. I mean, that was what we did. If we didn't have nothing to do, we went in the street and played football, tackle football, on the street. You know what I mean? And if you didn't play, then you didn't deserve in where we came from. You know what I mean?
Well, that's where you earned your stripes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Your respect.
A little bit.
You know?
And
that's when, when Pop Warner, when the season came around, people knew who were going to be them guys because of the streets.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. You actually got it pretty quick. Coaches knew because back then coaches, I mean, just like now sometimes too, coaches are dads.
Yeah.
Or uncles,
exactly.
Or you know what I'm saying. So they on your street like, oh, I want this little kid about to be nice. You know what I mean?
What they do is they be like, how old are you? What house you live in?
Right.
Okay.
You Laura's son, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
And then they find a way to get you on their team.
They do. And out here it's different because in Texas it's low league, so it's just age. It's not weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I remember when I was 5. My second year of football, I went from playing lineman my first year to
I think we all did. But my dad, he had a plan. He said, put him on the line because I want him to get used to hitting.
Get aggressive.
Get used to that pop and all that. And it worked because season 2, I was middle linebacker wearing 55.
Right.
And I was all over that field, right? Making every single tackle.
Absolutely.
And the funny thing is, someone put on my, how they used to put the strip on your helmet with your name on it?
Yeah.
They put, one day I came to practice, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not looking at my helmet. Right. I don't know why I didn't, but someone put Mad Dog on my joint, right? and I don't even know who it was to this day.
My.
And I'm like, everybody started calling, hey, Mad Dog. And I'm like, what is that? What are you? And they're like, it's on your helmet. And I'm like, really? I do not know. I mean, to the Pops, you gotta fess up if it was you. I do not know who it was, but that was my name that whole season because I was all over the field.
That's a trip. And it's the same thing. It's kind of the same thing, but differently because they made me a lineman because I was aggressive already. Mm-hmm. And then they didn't know I could run the ball. And then we were playing throw-up tackle. I don't know if they play it out here. They call it something different, but we call it throw-up tackle. You find a little cart or something that you can throw up in the air. And whoever pick it up, you got to run. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it had a little inappropriate.
Oh, yeah, that's name.
Smear
that person.
Not
a sphere, but it was the other word.
Yes,
I got
exactly.
you.
Rhymes with sphere.
Right. Nah, we call it throw-up tackle. But I remember we were playing it before practice one day when I was still like at the end of the season, and they saw me running through these kids, and I scored like 2 or 3 touchdowns. And they were like, next year you're gonna be a running back. And I was like, really? And that's when Pop showed me. That's why I have a Bears. I love the Bears because Pop found me. He found me a Gale Sayers. I'm older than you. Remember that? Right. He gave me a Gale Sayers, like a highlight tape, and I was like, oh, this is super cool. And then about a year after that, I got tired of juking people. So I started just
running through. Right. So you became Jim Brown after that.
And then they was like, have you ever thought about playing defense? I was like, yes, I want to play defense. And I didn't play offense ever again. Still until high school.
So that means this man he's got something wrong up here. There's something wrong up here because I was the opposite. Even though I played defense and I was good and I could hit, I was like, yeah, sign me up for the touchdowns.
Right. That's right. You're right about that. I don't think I even had one touchdown in college. I wanted one, but those hits was very. It's so funny because it was a statistician back in state. I can't remember his name, and forgive me for that. But he was looking at film. He went through some old film, and he's like, "Bro, if you would have went for picks instead of hits, you would probably walked out here with the most picks in state history." And I was like, "Yeah, but that ain't fun." You know what I'm saying?
It is fun. The problem is you didn't experience it. Man. So if you would have had one, you'd been like, "Ooh, that tastes good."
I did. I had like 4 or 5 actually.
What?
But yeah, I had picks.
Oh, you said I said I didn't.
I said I didn't score.
Oh, you didn't. Well, that's what I meant.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Picks to the house. That's what
I didn't take. Oh, you should have Kevin Burton on your show.
Hey, if you watching, he's telling.
If
you have his contact,
I do have his contact.
Okay, then make that happen.
And he can verify this story. I would have had a pick.
Okay, let's tell the story then.
But
we ain't in college yet, but he gonna go ahead and tell that story. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You there?
I got a pick against Kansas. Mm-hmm. took it around the edge. I only had about 30 yards to go. And I got one guy in front of me, it's Kevin Burton, blocking. And I'm thinking in my head, just take him any way you want. I'm going to go opposite. He didn't. And then my lack of ball security, the dude knocked it out of my hand, and they got it back. But I'm saying they got it back on like the 9-yard line. That was close as I ever got. And I said, bunk it. I'm knocking everybody out. I got too close.
You were supposed to score there.
I was.
I had one of those against Michigan. After this one,
that's a good one.
I caught a shuffle pass, wide open, gone, running. I'm like, oh, all I see is field. I'm like, I'm scoring.
Right.
They had this. I swear he was like 6'9" safety. I'm like, what the hell? Where did he come from? No, but he came. He kind of hawked me. He had the angle,
right?
But he hawked me. And if I would have just, high stepped
put the legs up a little bit,
it'd have been a house. But
or
I
if
did
he was
it.
6'4".
Nah. Or if I would have been 4'2", he wouldn't have touched me. But yeah, it was one of those.
Yeah,
and I'm like, it's one of those on ESPN.
Oh,
I already
man.
Actually, I don't think I scored at that point, but I just and it didn't end up scoring that day. But it was just like after the fact, you're like, damn, I could have had 2 today.
2 tubs.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
I got Hawks. So that's what's even worse.
I got Hawks. They don't say why it's a game of inches.
It's one of those, got my foot.
Caught him at the right time. Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
I was pissed. But it's all right.
I remember.
All right, so let's...
Back, my bad.
Back up.
My bad.
So you played football when you came out the womb, basically. But what others, did you play any other sports besides football?
Just in our area, we had T-ball. That was pretty much it. And I remember thinking, yeah, baseball ain't for me because I can't even hit this T-ball. Now, when I hit it, whew, it was gone. But it was hitting that much. I had I played first base, had diving catches at 6 and stuff like that. Athleticism was fine.
Yeah.
It was the hand-eye coordination thing. I just couldn't get it. Now, you look like you played baseball. You look like
I still get it.
Right.
You play baseball? Nah, man, I was football.
Right.
Yeah, but shoot, I wish I would have played baseball if I would have saw them contracts.
Yes.
If I was 10 years old, I would have been like, you know what, Pop? I think football's not really my thing. I think I should go to baseball. Even though I played
so long.
But I played it all growing up. I played it. But mentally, it was all about, I went from football to basketball, then to baseball. Gotcha. Once you get to baseball, it's like, it's
boring. Right. Yeah. That's another thing.
So, but then, but my point is, if I would have known the business side of things and said, $250 million contract guaranteed. I would have been like, yeah, well, baseball is not that boring.
No, and you can play it longer. You know what I'm saying? You can play it longer, man.
Exactly. So, I did play baseball. I did play basketball and football.
And here's another thing. Baseball dudes is not going to like this. So I apologize. But baseball is the only sport where you're good if you're under average.
Facts.
If you hit 3 out of 10, you're amazing.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Shoot. I couldn't do it though. I was whack. Them boys is bad. I was whack at that, man. I was whack.
All right, so you kind of answered this question, but who are some of the athletes growing up that you looked up to?
Absolutely. Growing up in Texas, man, you're kind of forced to be a Cowboy fan. So I looked up to people like Tony Dorsett and Herschel Walker back then, obviously. Michael Singletary was he was my dude, like the dude on the wall, Michael Jordan.
That man is intense.
Dude.
I had him in San Francisco.
In Frisco? Yeah.
Obviously he's on the other side of the ball, but even in Bible study, that boy was...
Those eyes, man.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness gracious.
I couldn't imagine being on the other side.
I love that dude. His intensity is... I think I got a lot from everybody. I love Michael Jordan. I played basketball, too, when I was little.
Me too. I'm a Jordan fan. I see you.
Absolutely.
He can't. Go ahead and lift that foot up real quick. Higher. They can't see it. There it is. Ooh. Yeah. There they are. I'm not going to lift mine up because I got some biscuits on there.
But, I hooped a little bit, too. Didn't quite catch hoop until later, and I got pretty good at that. But it was the intensity, but I wasn't overtly intense, but I was. I liken it to somebody asked me, how do you get that juice? And I said, dude, it's kind of like Bobby Boucher. Like, I'm out there mentally saying stuff to myself, and it gets me juice. It gets me, like, I can remember saying things like, how dare they think they can get a first down? Like, they literally just talking smack to my whole sideline, like, we whack, they gonna get a first down when they want. Yeah. And then I do something to flip somebody over. But I was one of those dudes. After I made sure everybody was lined up.
I love how proper you were, though. How dare they think they can get a first down on thee?
My inner voice does talk like that. It really does.
I love it.
Yeah.
So now you grew up in Dallas or in Texas. I'm sorry.
It's all
you
good.
grew up in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You came to San Diego in 10th grade, you said?
Yep.
And what were some of the, I'd say, good and bad habits that you had at that age that kind of got you to where you are, or to San Diego State, to the next level?
You know, man, I was really, and it's still, this is not a shock to my teammates, but it might be a shock to people that know what it takes, like yourself, and some people that don't. But I wasn't really a weight room guy. And I have to make myself go to the weight room. Now, it's not natural for me to wake up and be like, I need to go to the gym. I know I need to. You know what I'm saying? And that's how, because last year at this time, not last year, about a year and a half ago at this time, I was almost 370 pounds. Wow. So I've lost.
Great, man.
Well, I'm getting there. I'm trying to get back down to y'all side.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But playing, I remember Coach O, may he rest in peace.
Absolutely. Shout out Coach O.
Absolutely. He was like, Rico, I just need you to come in like 2 days a week. That was the minimum that you needed to come in. And I struggled with that.
Did he say it like that?
Yeah, he did to me. He did. At first.
He must have been scared of you.
No, he wasn't scared.
Man,
he was just like.
I love Coach O. Again, rest in peace to that man. But he was mean to me. But it kicked my butt into gear. Like, yeah. I was used to it, so it didn't matter. It didn't, like, tear me down or anything like that. But my point is, if he said it like that to you, that means he was scared, because he didn't talk to me like that.
At first, he tried to be rugged with me, and I still would struggle. You know what I mean? And I remember him asking me a question. We had just played against Wisconsin, and Ron Dane, big back, and they had another dude named Aaron Gibson, who was like a 400-pound lineman. But this dude could do splits. He was real athletic, right? Ooh. And it was a play where they were pulling. And this dude, another lineman came. He was a good sized dude. He wasn't as big as Aaron, but he was a good sized dude. And I hit his ass in the hole, stood him up, shattered him, and made a tackle on Ron Dane. So we got back to San Diego, and he was like, I got a question, man. He said, how come I can't get you to lift, but I see you do that type of stuff? I said, Coach, I don't know. I just wanted to, you know. He said, if you would lift, you could have probably threw him off of you. And I was like, yeah, but I just need to slide by him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't need to throw him off me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I remember my teammates would be like, dude, that's crazy. I said, listen, you give me a hamburger, some video games, get my work done, my schoolwork done. That's all I need, man. I don't need all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I remember I said, you know what? I'm going to give Coach O, I'm going to give him his flowers. I'm going to go ahead and do this 4 days a week thing. And that's when I turned into a monster. You know what I'm saying?
So I was right.
Coach is right. He's very right. You know what I mean? And so I did that for 2 years. And then my senior year, I kind of was like.
But that's college.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You fast forward. See, man, this dude just fast forward. I'm talking about high school. We in 10th grade now.
High school, we had no weight room.
No, but the question was, let me clear this up.
I'm getting yelled at now.
The question was, what are some of the good and bad habits as a youngster that you carried through to get you to college, is my point.
Oh, I see.
Obviously, it wasn't the weight room. No, because we heard that.
So good habits literally was being able to watch whatever was going on out. I had my father got very ill, you know what I mean? But his thing was, well, how'd you do today? So I had to make sure that I could tell him the best that I could tell him so that he'd be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And he came through it, which is cool. But focusing, having friends, that helped a lot. Matter of fact, I went to high school with Lonnie, and he was a really good influence on me as far as, let's be better at this than most. You know what I'm saying? And I learned a little bit from him. But I had some bad habits too, though. I didn't think San Diegans could play football, so I kind of looked down at some of the cats. You know what I mean?
Do you think because you came from Texas, it pushed you?
Absolutely.
It gave you that mentality?
It was, to me, I'll give you an example. When I came from Texas, I was in the 10th grade. They put me on JV. And I was like, bro, this is like playing with my little brothers. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have little brothers. You know what I mean? My first day on JV.
Didn't know.
They didn't know. But that's what they did. Yeah. So my first...
So I'm sure it only lasted one day.
One game. My first game with JV, I took a kickoff return for a touchdown, a punt return for a touchdown. I had like 30 tackles, and they were like, yeah, you need to move up. But they had moved me down first when I got here. But anyway, I still played. Me and Lonnie played a lot of JV, but back then we had 6 quarters. So, yeah, you can play every Friday. You had 6 quarters. Or you can play 2 quarters of JV. And then a whole game.
Yes. Oh, I thought you meant in the game. I'm like, what game were you playing? No. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yes, so, I did the same thing as a 10th.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And it made a difference. But another bad habit I had was I took people at their word, meaning, hey, if this comes around the edge, I need you to funnel it, and I'll make the tackle, or I'll funnel it and you make the tackle. I wasn't selfish, you know what I mean? And I found out that in high school, kids will say, yes, okay, and then you'll look up and the person has scored. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we had to change defenses. Nothing against Coach Kovacevic, which was what his name was, but at that time we had 2 defenses, cover 2 and cover 3. That's all we had. Yeah. He didn't want to yell them in. So he had dark brown for cover 2 and black for cover 3. You can't tell the difference. On the game with the lights on, they both look shiny. You know what I'm saying? So I was just calling whatever, you know what I mean? And then it got to the point where, and this is the reason I got a scholarship. It got to the point where I didn't have a position anymore. They literally said, hey, Rico, you stand in the middle of the field and you go to wherever you think the ball's going. And I was like, okay. And that was our defense for 2 years.
That's crazy.
Right. So when people were recruiting, which I don't even know. I know how I got recruited, but I don't know. I'm trying not to jump ahead. You know what I'm saying?
We might as well. Let's go. Well, no, first of all.
Okay.
Yes, let's go there. How did you get recruited? What got you? What was the...
What was it that got me recruited? Yeah. It was a game against Patrick Henry.
Okay.
And...
The Patriots?
Yeah. Are they the Patriots?
I think so.
Probably. I don't know. But you're probably right.
Patriots,
okay. Don't look confused because
I am confused now.
But
you made me second guess.
PH came in, and the whole week, everybody's walking on eggshells. And I'm like, yo, what's the problem, man? It's football. We're about to play football. Then it gets to game day, and one of our guys comes to me and said, man, you ain't nervous? I'm like, hell no, man, it's football. It's what we do. I'm excited. You know what I mean? Yeah, but we playing against Ricky Williams. I was like, who's Ricky Williams? I don't know who that is. You know what I'm saying? And so we get down to the field, and remember I told you like 100 people at the games? Yeah. Man, it's like 400 people over here. It's like 600 people over here, right? And I was like, what is going on tonight? And then I look across the way, and it's number 34, Ricky Williams, little baby dreads. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's a big ass dude. Okay. It is what it is. So my coach comes over to me finally and goes, I wasn't going to tell you, man, but we're playing against the number 1 running back in the city right now. And I was like, okay, so what? You know what I'm saying? He was like, look, I'm going to need you to do you tonight. And I was like, okay, you got me, coach.
Wait,
Look.
what year is this?
This was 94.
But like yours?
My junior year.
Junior year? Okay.
Mm-hmm. His junior year as well.
Okay.
And so that game, it goes. And I think I had 31 tackles that game. This dude still had like a $125 though, like a $140.
That was probably a light day though.
But I didn't know. So I was like, man, I failed you, coach. Like, my bad, dude. This dude had over 100. You know, anybody get over 100, they didn't won. You know what I mean? Well, I didn't find out until later that he was averaging maybe a couple hundred plus a game. And I was like, wow. But all those extra dudes were scouts that came to see Rick, you know? And all of a sudden, like a week or two later, man, I think I had like 100 letters. Just like, I took them to my dad. I was like, Pop, what is all this? Because he hadn't told me about scholarships yet. Okay. I'm just playing for fun. You know what I mean? And he was like, boy, those are scholarship letters. My dad went to college on a hoop, kind of a hoop partial scholarship. Okay. And he was like, boy, they trying to pay for your education. I was like, for real, to play football? And he was like, yes, man. So that's kind of, Ricky Williams is the reason I got recruited, because they didn't know nothing about this dude at Sarah, a little 6 foot middle. I didn't even have a position, you know what I'm saying? Until then all of a sudden I was a safety. Oh, you're a safety or a linebacker? I was like, we'll say safety. Okay.
Strong safety.
Right. I just do what I do, man.
But that's a lesson to the future players that, you may be at a school that might not have a lot of like scouts coming out to check you out. Even in college, you might not be playing but those games where you do play against players that are getting that, those are the times to get that money. Yeah,
I got lucky, man. I just, I'm just saying, I got lucky that he came
when
through.
Preparation meets opportunity,
That's
man.
the truth.
Your preparation or just God-given, whatever, came out that night, and it was supposed to be. It wasn't an accident.
Cool. It was cool, man. And I even thanked him. We did the Reebok Combine. I don't know if they still did that when you came out.
I don't think so.
And he was there, and I was like, Rick, I'm only here because you. He said, man, I still get mad a little bit at that game. You was everywhere. I said, bruh, he was like a grown man. So the body that he took to Texas was his college body was actually slimmer than his high school body. Like, he was a big kid. You know what I'm saying?
And legs,
dude. He was a monster. He was a monster. But my dad told me a long time ago, where's a big back's weakness? And I was like, I hit him in the legs. He's like, nah, you get knocked out doing that. I was like, he was like, I'm gonna tell you, hit him in the chin. Now they can't do that now. But if you can that's what I always get this.
He's giving Jules. I know you can't do it, but hey, maybe try it one time. You get a flag, but hey.
You can't do it now, but if you can make a dude say, what's up? Like, if you can hit him in his chin.
Oh, I've been in that position.
If his body follows his chin.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing back in school and a little bit after that was try to make him say, what's up? You can make him say what's up to you, baby. You won that.
I love it. I like that. Make him say what's up. All right, so now that we've gotten into that, what are the other schools that were recruiting you?
Man, I got
Oh, well, if there's a lot, then what were the ones that you were kind of looking at that you liked?
The ones that was Pullman, which was Washington State, UCLA, Florida. Texas A&M was my number one. Texas A&M was my...
You wanted to go back?
Man, I wanted to go home. I wanted to play at A&M, College Station. It was perfect. And that was when Quentin Coriat and them was there. And they got in a little trouble. I don't remember what the trouble was, but then they got put on probation. And then I was like, man, that's a 5-year probation. I wouldn't be able to win any type of championship, you know what I'm saying? And then I tripped to San Diego State because it was in my city, you know what I'm saying? And they had a number 6 or number 7 engineering program, and that's what I wanted to be, was an engineer.
Yes.
So I was like, man.
I think they still do.
I think they do, yeah. And I was like, well, that would be fun to play in front of my parents, you know what I'm saying, be at home. And I can't go to Texas A&M. I actually went to Colorado State too. Didn't really like that one.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't go there.
Yeah. Sonny Lubeck was cool, but he tried to bully me, so it's all good, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I ended up going to State, you know, which was love. It was super cool.
What got you though?
The engineering.
Oh, so
the
that
engineering,
yeah. Shoot, that's probably the first time I heard someone say the education.
Yeah, no, the engineering did. I have a funny story about extracurriculars.
Okay.
That my mom and dad was telling me some things. Now you got to remember, man, my mom and dad, Southern as they are. My dad from Memphis, mama from Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? And so you gonna go to San Diego State? Yeah, I'm gonna go to. I want y'all to be able to come to the games. And my mom goes, listen, don't you bring none of them white girls home, right? And I go, oh, Mom, you know, it's not even about that. It's football, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I ain't no fool, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my dad goes, yeah, don't do that, man, don't do that. I said, okay, whatever. I don't fall into that, but my parents is talking, so I'm like, okay. So my mom goes to the kitchen, my dad checks, and he said, hey, man, but you got a sample. You know what I'm saying? My dad goes,
at least he's real.
Right, he's like, you got to sample some stuff. I understand, you know what I'm saying? I was like, come on, Pop, I'm just trying to get it in and get it done. But my favorite part of San Diego State, honest to God, is we had that community of the brotherhood. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like when I took my trip, them boys made me feel like I was already on the squad. You know what I mean? I know that's part of recruiting, but you know that's the thing that
yes
you miss.
And no, but
you know
like
I mean?
There could be energy. You can't fake energy.
That's true.
You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? And even if they were faking that you were part of the team already, I don't think it would feel like you felt
genuine.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
So the fact that it did feel like that, I think that was real energy.
Yeah, dude, it was super cool, man. That's how they got me though. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm down. Let's do this. And then they sent me the schedule, and all those engineering classes are between 1 and 4. And I was like, wait a minute, I want to do the engineering classes, but that's when practice is. And they was like, yeah, you're not going to be able to be an engineer. And I was like, damn.
So you're already there?
I was already damn. That's how they got me. It's all good though, man, because I ended up with a sociology minor and a psych major. My double major coming out of there. And it actually led me in a different direction, which I'm actually pretty proud of. You know what I'm saying? But
everything's meant to be. Man.
Yeah, it is. It really is, man. It really is. It was fun though. It was super fun.
So you said you didn't really know anything about the scholarship and all that stuff until you were basically a junior in high school. So
correct.
What was your focus in high school then? Like what type of things were you focused on? Because I know for me, I was like, I ain't going to college unless I get a scholarship.
Wow.
You know, so
question.
I already knew what my focus was. And then once you tell us that, how did your focus change after you found out about it?
Dude, I think my answer may surprise you. My focus in high school was to have fun playing sports and be eligible. Be eligible to play the sports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to me, high school was easy. So, you know, I had like a 3.5 because I just enjoyed playing. I didn't want nothing to get in the way of that. You know what I mean? And then once my dad told me about the scholarship stuff, I was like, whoa, I don't need to change nothing up because this is what I've been doing, you know. I did look into trying to lift more and run and do all that. But our weight room at Sarah, no offense, Sarah, because it's not even called Sarah anymore, so that's cool. It's called Canyon Springs now.
Oh, but you still gave it up the name.
Yeah, my bad. If anybody from Cane Springs is watching, no offense. But we had one barbell, one dumbbell. We had 3 dumbbells, but none of them was the same weight. We had the universal machine from like 65 with the real chain, you know what I'm saying, on it. And if you move this one, that one back there moved too. But so 2 dudes can't be up at the same time. And our weight room was probably about as big as this room.
Wow.
So nobody lifted. That wasn't part of the game. You know what I mean? You know what kept us in shape? Playing other sports. So that's when I got into basketball. And I actually played volleyball too.
Oh.
And back then I could jump a little bit. Back then I had a little boing.
Little bunnies.
Right, just a little bit. Just enough to outside hit a couple. I got a letter though. That's how much I played. I got a letter. And it's funny too, people say, did you like basketball or football? Actually, my love was basketball. My football came natural. You know what I mean? It was just something that I didn't even know I was doing. I was just playing.
Yeah.
But my dad played basketball, so of course you want to do a little bit. And I got recruited to play basketball by UCLA and also football. And I was thinking, man, I might be able to play both, right? And I remember, am I in college still? This is high school, so we went back. All right.
One thing I learned, you just got to go with the flow.
Just got to let them talk, man.
Because that's where the good stories are.
Oh, man,
you know,
if
it comes out natural, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Let it go.
So they recruited me for basketball, and I went up to the UCLA USC game. It's their big rivalry game, and we happened to see the football coach that was recruiting me. And the basketball coach that was recruiting me, and he was like, "Oh, you recruiting him too?" And they were like, "Yeah, he's a hell of a football player." And it was Coach Romar, actually, Lorenzo Romar, and he was like, "Well, we're recruiting him for basketball because I went to the UCLA basketball camps." You know what I'm saying? And they were like, "Well, we're unaware of that. Well, we're unaware of you, and this, that, and the other." And I remember standing there, like, ain't nobody asking me what I want to do. So UCLA was out. Like, I just couldn't do it.
For you it was out.
Right. It was out
I thought you meant them. I'm like, just because they have a miscommunication.
Nah, man. I didn't like being treated as if I wasn't in the room. Like, if y'all was having that argument when I wasn't there, so be it. You know what I'm saying? But
so are you saying we might have lost out?
Yeah, I love UCLA, bro. Because back then.
How about now?
Nah.
That's right.
Nah.
That's why
I root against them boys all the time.
Me too.
My little sister went there, so it was, and then she came back to state, so it's all good.
Okay.
It's all good, man. I had to be here. I feel like you just said, I feel like it was meant for me to come to state. You know what I mean, and do whatever I needed to do to be here.
Me too. I actually didn't get recruited that much. I had a season-ending injury my junior year. Oh, wow. Fractured a nerve channel in my vertebrae. Paralyzed from the waist down.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. I ended up getting the feeling back. It wasn't like a long period. I didn't have feeling, so got it back. And my dad was like, "You can't play no more." And I'm like, "What?" Man. I'm like, the doctor said I could play.
Right.
Like if God wants me to be paralyzed for the rest of my life, it's gonna happen in a car accident. At least let me do something I love. Man. Now I'll probably say don't play, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, so didn't get recruited very much. I had one scholarship, and that was to South Carolina State, and I went on my trip and literally. I loved it. It looked great, but I just felt in my heart, God was telling me this ain't the place for you.
Gotcha.
And I went up to San Diego State campus. Now they were off. They said, we don't have a scholarship for you, but if this other receiver doesn't take it, then it's yours. I'm like, cool.
Right.
So went up there to the campus just to look at it. And it just felt like home.
Nice,
so
man.
Either way, they were like, look. Well, he ended up taking the scholarship, but they're like, look, we'll give you a priority walk-on, and you can earn the scholarship, and basically that's what I did. But my point is, it felt like home. It felt like I was supposed to be there, and that's why I went.
That's a trip because it was home for me. So it did not feel like home when I was on campus. It felt like a different activity. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it was cool. Don't get me wrong. And I like to say this: I had 98 offers. I had 98 college scholarship offers.
That's dope, though.
That's all Rick. I promise you. That's all Rick. After that, it was cool. It was cool, but State, man, honestly, it felt easier than being somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I did have that pride thing. Like, I wish all of the OGs, like if Rick would have went to State and all the dudes because out of 27 all-CAF guys, like 2 of them or 3 of them went to State. And I remember thinking, man, if like 20 of us went to State, we could have flipped the culture in a season or 2. You know what I mean? And but we still flipped the culture with the dudes that came in and the OGs that was already there. I remember thinking, man, this is gonna be cool, super cool. You know what I mean? I remember I got in a fight on like the second day of.
Really? Like as a freshman?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go there. Let's go. Let's talk about it.
Freshmen ain't supposed to poke their heads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah.
And we had a running back who actually won a Super Bowl. His name was Justin Watson. He played at St. Louis with Oz.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And Jay Watt was a big dude. Jay Watt was like 6'3", probably 225 running back. You know what I mean? And I would look at him and I'd be like, but he runs so high. If I ever get a good shot on him, yes indeed.
Make him say what's up.
Make his ass say what's up too. And as a freshman, I got him good. And he was upset. It was an ego thing, right? So we got back into the locker room, and he came looking for me. And our OG at the time was a dude named Ricky. Oh my God, I can't remember Rick's last name. But anyway, he was 2'7". I was 3'7".
Yeah, his name's Ricky.
You know what I'm saying? So Big Rick was like, "Hey, Jay Watt, don't be mad that the young fella got you. No, look, dude, this, that, and the other." And I remember we squared up in the locker room, and Jay Watt is a big dude, but I held my own, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then they pulled us apart. And I remember Jay Watt coming up later like, "Hey, little fella, that was a good hit, though. That was a good hit."
Yeah.
I remember that to this day. And I remember thinking, when I'm the upperclassman, if they poke their head, I'm going to congratulate them. And I remember the next year, was the next year or the year after that is when Willie D came. You know what I'm saying?
I call him the wall. That boy was solid. Because I got him on his senior year, and I was a freshman. And I thought, I'm little, but then I'm not going to be no punk.
Right.
Wham! And I was like, oh, that's a solid guy right there. I won't be doing that again.
Willie D, man, I remember when he bugged somebody. He hadn't even gotten his body yet. He came and we called him Baby Monty. He looked like a little Montezuma Monty.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I'm saying? He was a little chubbier around. He looked like me, smaller. You know what I'm saying? Not cut up like he was when he got to the league. But the dude could hit. And I remember him doing his first one. I was like, that's how you hit him, bro. That's how you hit him. And I every day, always congratulating. If you do something fucked up, we're going to talk about that too. But I felt like we all need to be able to poke our head out, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because we need that. You need that. You need
confidence.
Absolutely.
To be successful, you need confidence. To me, in any industry.
Any industry. Mm-hmm. Any industry. It don't matter what it is. You got to be confident. And you got to know if you don't work by yourself, you got to believe that your teammates have your back. So if you make a decision, we're going to roll with you. You know what I'm saying? Might not have been the right one, but so what? We'll figure it out. You know what I mean? And that's what it was.
My story is, and I've told it before, but I wasn't poking my head. I was just, I was one of those, like, I wasn't super gifted. I just worked hard. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right. So, I mean, I take that back. I was gifted, but when you're in a room full of super gifted, right. I was on the lower end of that. You know what I'm saying? So basically, what I knew was work hard and go hard every time.
Right.
So, you know, practice, I'm scout team, freshman.
All American?
I had, yes.
Scout team
I
All-American.
had Dylan Robles pick me up, feet off the ground, like, what are you trying to be? Scout team All-American? And I'm like, I smile, I literally smiled and I go, I never heard that before, so I smiled and I go, yeah. And he threw me on the ground. They hated me. I'll name them. Dylan Robles, Garrett Pavelko. I think there's someone else. But anyways, they hated me because I was just, that was my time to shine, scout team.
Wasn't one of the Neal brothers there too? Was David or the other Neal brother there?
I don't think so, no.
That's because David Neal played with us, but I think he had a younger brother that was also pretty good to play D-line.
Oh, okay. But yeah, they were mad at me, and especially on special teams. Like I would come off the edge and I would block the punts all the time. And I'm just a freshman. Right. The only person, Ricky Sharp, was the only person that I would beat on the hawk. I would beat him down to get the, like, you know, you didn't tackle the returner, but you just tag him.
Yeah,
he was down.
Blow by. Blow by.
So basically,
Ricky Sharp let you.
Ricky Sharp, he didn't let me.
Okay,
I was working, and he was the only one that was like, keep going. He was He was the only one that you making me better.
Yeah.
But what's funny is years later, you know, after I had, you know, sniffed the league a little bit, I was at the time of this, I was with the Patriots. And I ran into Dylan Robles, I ran into Garrett Pavelko, and they both like showed love.
Right.
They were just like, yo, like back then I did hate you, but they were like, I followed you after that, and I'm so proud of you.
Absolutely.
And so for me, you know, I guess I poked my head, but I wasn't poking my head with confidence. I was actually poking my head like, I got to do whatever I can to stay on this team.
I need to stay on the team.
Yeah,
I get that. No,
exactly.
And I didn't mean poke my with confidence. I just meant we weren't supposed to make plays.
Yeah.
Like flash plays.
So that was me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember I love scout team. Yeah. I had to play scout team because
scout team player of the year.
Excuse me, my bad.
You know what I'm saying?
Man,
me and Jasper Harvey, we were cold.
I remember Jazz, man.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, I remember those awards. I used to get a little heat. They used to give me, especially my sophomore year, because I think I won 5 awards my sophomore year. Like, it was stupid. I was on every special team. Yeah. I was a defensive captain. It was weird, right? And I remember some of the OGs, not the OGs that played, but the OGs that had been there a while, they were like, this motherfucker just got here. You know what I'm saying? And I remember that's what taught me that there's a difference between wanting to win and wanting credit for winning. You know what I'm saying? So I learned then, you know, there's some people that play for the name on the front, and there's some people that play for the name on the back, right? I've always been a name on the front kind of guy. You know, I don't even need a nameplate. It don't matter, you know what I mean? But that's when the business of football started to enter my mind. You know what I mean? Like, just like you know, I take so many life lessons from football, from the college and in the NFL. One of them is you don't have to like everybody that you work with, but if they're good at what they do, you'll find a way to make it work out there, and then you go your separate ways. You know what I'm saying? And I've had to do that in playing this game, playing it as long as I have too. You know, I've had to do that. So,
and shoot, sports, football. I feel like it's the only sport you could actually, you know, knock your coworker out.
Oh my gosh.
and then you gotta go to practice the next day. Like it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole like Golden State Warriors stuff that happened. I was like, you know how many fights I witnessed in the locker room?
Absolutely. There's fights all the time, worse than the one that happened. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So I mean, it is what it is. I remember Dwight Tournament was a OG. So when I got here, he was a senior or a junior. Like he was the guy. He had the mohawk. Like he looked like an Aztec warrior, right? Played middle linebacker. He was one of the guys that was like our media guy dude. Like everybody, Dwight Tournament. And I remember he was a safety, but they turned him into a wideout. His name was Nate Jaquette. Still probably one of the fastest white wideouts we've ever had, right? So I saw him run a 4.2 in the rain with some titty shoes on. I ran, you know what I ran at the combine? You don't want to know.
I don't, but listen.
5'1".
And you were a safety?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I'll tell you that one in a second. But anyway, Nate had just started playing wideout. He didn't realize to call cracks yet.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm sorry. He was still playing corner, but he had just started with us. He didn't know to call cracks to the linebackers. And Dwight got his bell rung, right? I remember Dwight picked Nate up probably a good 2-3 feet off the ground. And if I don't know if you were there when we had the whole field, it had that little hill on the side. He threw his ass down into that hill. He didn't get hurt, but it was one of those things that he could have. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I still remember the look in Nate's face, like, I don't even know what I did wrong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's one of those things in football where, bro, these dudes out here ain't playing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was trying to make it to the league at that point. And if I got cracked and something happened and I can't play, so you always got to be aware of that too.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I was about to tell you something, huh?
Yeah, the 5'1". You
ran
the 5'1".
Oh, you kept that. You kept the numbers.
Oh yes, I'm ready. I'm ready for that stuff.
Dude, I ran a 5'1". I worked with Coach Oden for 2-3 months, and I in my mind, I'm never running as fast as I can. As I'm running, I even remember running that 5'1". I remember thinking, this ain't as fast as I can run. No motivation, right? So the dude was like, okay, so Rico, did you even work? Did you train for this or anything? I was like, yeah, man, I trained a lot, you know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like I'm running my fastest ever with this stuff. This stuff don't work for me, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, bro, I don't think we can, if you're running 5'1", I don't think we can do anything about it, you know what I'm saying? And I said, you know what, can I send you a piece of tape? And he was like, yeah. So I sent him we played Oklahoma. They had a dude, that's when they had Thunder and Lightning, Jermaine Fazan, and I forget the fast dude's name. But the fast dude broke. The fast dude was a 4'3" guy, right? And I shoot him this film, and the fast dude broke, and I'm on the other side of the field. And I had the angle, but he's 4'3". I'm 5'1". Exactly. You know what I mean? And I catch him, and actually I kind of come from behind him and catch him and push him out of bounds with Ricky. You know what I'm saying? Yep. RP, Ricky Parker. There it is. Damn. Thank you, Jesus. I'd have been pissed if I didn't remember that. But he was like, what is that? You can't, it's a 5'1", but what is that? I said, bro, I wanted to. That's 1-2 speed. You know what I'm saying?
That's game speed too.
That's just what it is. It's I know that dude's not running the 5'1" right there. He's like, hell no, that dude's right there look like he about 4'5". Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, that's just on the field, but all this running back and forth, I ain't got no motivation. Like the money doesn't motivate me. Like that doesn't motivate me. I just want to play. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I finally got a look with the Chargers, and I had a couple picks and fields and blah blah blah. They were like, dude, you ran a 5'1"? I was like, yeah, man, I didn't really want to run. It was just I had to, you know what I mean?
But it's also the what I've learned is the 40 is an art.
Oh man.
You have to paint the strokes the perfect way. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be the slowest guy, and if you paint that stroke the perfect way, you can pop off a good time. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And you could be a fast guy and not do the stroke the right way, and you just slow as hell.
I knew I was slow. I knew I was slow, but I wasn't that slow. You know what I'm saying? But my mind was, Coach Gilbert, man, my defensive coordinator, he showed me how to break film down. I knew where they were going most of the time. So if my mind is in front of you, I'm going to get there first.
You weren't thinking.
No, I was reacting.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I was reacting.
That makes a huge difference. To me, that was the difference between the college, college to the NFL. Because we were all fast, we were all strong, we were all good. Mm-hmm. But what separated you? My dad always said, the neck up.
Neck up, man. I wholeheartedly believe that. I wholeheartedly believe it. I remember when they gave us the playbook at the Charge, it was like that thick.
Yep.
And I remember thinking, okay, I'm getting into this thing for the next 4 days. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not doing nothing. And I would show up at practice, and their $1 million safety he would need help lining up, which is fine, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't. I knew where my help was. I knew where the force was, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, your mind is so great. And then we did a kickoff, and they literally had a bet that how far behind would I be. But I was a second dude down, and they was like, again, where's the 5-1? And I was like, dude, I don't know. That dude, this is football, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're not about to beat me down. You know what I'm saying?
Your football speed was definitely
it was different.
not 5'1".
Nah, it was. I don't think it was. It could have been. Shoot, I don't know.
So I asked everybody this: if someone hands you a phone and said you could call your 18-year-old self, what would you tell them?
My 18-year-old self, that them engineering classes is between 1 and 4.
I mean, after
you got to clarify. You got to clarify,
got it,
bro.
Got
You know what
it.
I'm saying? Take advantage. Take advantage of the friendships. Take advantage of all the stuff outside of the game. Get your ass in the gym. You know what I mean? You are good, but you could be so much better. You know what I mean? And learn. Just keep learning. Keep learning. Because you can learn from anybody in any arena. It ain't just coaches to learn from. It ain't just parents or big brothers such and such or your teammates. You can learn from people in the training room. You can learn from the cafeteria people. You can learn from your administrators and your professors and stuff. But just learn and try to understand that everybody's there trying to help you. Because, at some point, everybody goes through that phase of, well, shit, it's hard, so I'm done. You know what I mean? This shit ain't for me, Shit, I quit. I quit my freshman year because I wasn't going to class, and they was trying to make me go to class. And I went to Coach Gilbert and told him I would quit, thinking that he was going to have some type of, oh, no, don't do that. He said, well, get the fuck out of here. We don't need you. And that, to me, was like, what? And he said, matter of fact, let's call your dad and tell him. And I was like, oh, well, I'll go home and tell him. He said, oh, no, we're going to call him. Let's call him right now. And we called him. And my dad told Coach Gilbert, go ahead and send him home. Then I went home, and my dad was there with all my shit packed up. And he was like, you can quit, but you ain't going to stay here. So go figure out where you're going to live. And I was like, man. And that's needless to say, I went back.
Yes.
with a renewed energy.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
So saying all that, do you think you would have listened?
Yeah. I talk to myself now. So I think that my younger self would have been like, damn, how did you do that?
Yes.
I'm listening, bruh.
Yeah.
If anybody has my back, it's you. You know what I'm saying? I definitely would have listened to it for sure. I mean, dude, I had probably one of my best experiences with San Diego State. I still think, I don't know, but I won an award my senior year, MVP, right? And I still think, to me, that's one of the highest awards that I've ever won, because we were an offensive school. You know what I mean? Like, it meant the most that my teammates voted me that. I mean, I didn't vote for myself. You know what I'm saying? And I remember feeling a whole bunch of pride about that they realized that, it wasn't just the hits, which there were a lot of them, but it was more than that, man. It was the sacrifices that you make. And I remember my senior year, I had to play linebacker because our linebackers was just getting hurt. And we had a guy that could play. We had a person that could play free and strong, but not really somebody that could play whip. And I was like, well, I guess I need to learn this position because I want to win as much as we can. So I played my last like 3 or 4 games at linebacker, which was very different from me, but still you do what you got to do. Put a neck roll on and kept it moving. You know
Did that help you think on the next level? Like, did they recognize that? The fact that you switched towards the end?
The coaches recognized the team aspect of it, but I didn't have a lot of experience. So when I actually did go play in the, which one was it? The Hula Bowl, which is, as a senior.
Senior.
And I played both. I played linebacker and safety in that bowl game. And of course, but I ended up having, I can't remember if it was 9 or 11 tackles or something like that, a little pass breakup. I did have a flash play. I knocked the brakes off of this running back, which is always what I want to do anyway. What's up? And it was good. The cool thing about that game, man, was honestly, it was playing with remember I told you I started playing when I was 4? Well, I played for a team called the Jones Panthers. The other team was the Anderson Elementary Raiders, I think they were. They were gray and black. And Chris Cole was a wideout for Texas A&M, where I wanted to go, right? He ended up playing in that game. We were on the same team. And that was cool to see 2 dudes from this little bitty city, 2 of the better players of the whole country on the same team. That was one of my coolest moments. Like, damn, we was enemies back then, but we're on the same team now. That was pretty cool.
And you knew him?
I knew Chris. Yeah, he was, like I said, he was their guy, and I was our guy on our little team, you know what I mean? And it was fun, man. It was fun to my mama and his mama talking smack again, which was cool, you know what I mean? It was cool, bro. It was cool.
That's dope.
So you had some cool memories playing this game.
Well, I thank you for coming on the show, sharing your journey. I know you was all over the place, not letting me do my job. You know what I'm saying? Not letting me thrive. But I will say this: you gave me some amazing jewels, some amazing stories, and I'm so excited for everybody to hear this. Again, the Aztec Legacy Show is about bringing the past to the present and, educating the future. And, obviously this man is a big legend in San Diego State history. I know I heard so much about Rico Curtis when I got on campus, about his hits and all that good stuff. I don't even think when I was playing, that's when you were playing professionally. So, I know people are busy in those times, so I didn't really get the chance to hang out and see you then.
Right.
But I'm glad now that I've had this opportunity, and I hope, in the future we can continue the relationship.
Absolutely.
And I want to have you back on. You gotta, let me know a couple of your teammates that you would want to come on the show with. I want to get some teammates together because I know some stories that come out.
There are some. There are quite a few. Yeah, we've. You know what? I got time for one more story.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I know they want to hear it.
So I remember this as clear as day. So you remember were you a part of the FOC before it became the building?
That was the year. The year I got there, we were there for camp, but then we moved into the new.
Okay, so but you know what the horseshoe was? I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
So we have our normal team meeting is 1. We get on the field at 3. Individuals in between those 2. You know how it goes. So we show up. One of our linebackers in there. His name was Mac. So we're like, where Mac at? Nobody misses this meeting because he got to run. You know what I'm saying? So we trying to find Mac before the meeting starts so that we, that's what we do. Trying to look out for each other.
Got to.
Well, we find out that Mac's in the hospital. Mac got 8 staples, and his forehead is like a boxer's, has that knot. So there's no way he could wear a helmet at all, right? So we asked, we found out what's up with Mac right before the meeting. He had gotten jumped by the fraternity where there used to be a beach volleyball court right in the middle of Paseo. Is that the? I forget which street it is. It's the main window, right, that comes right into the.
Where most of the frats
right frat row, exactly. Yeah. So we pissed. We are pissed, right? So Coach starts talking, and this is Toner, by the way, and he's this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other. We're not going to have individual meetings today. Rico, I think y'all got something to talk about, right? And I was like, absolutely, Coach, you know. Okay, coaches, we need all the coaches to leave the room. Coach left the room. I said, look, we got to walk down the street real quick and make sure everything is just okay. We got to go ask a couple questions.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Just talking.
Just talk it out.
Yes.
Needless to say, when 112 dudes is coming down the street, questions got answered. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it was one of those beautiful moments to have the brotherhood.
To have the football fraternity.
Exactly.
Walk
down the street. Make sure no civilians was in there.
Yes.
Girls and people that are not a part of this, please exit. Then have the freshmen hang around the bottom, make sure nobody leaves, and then we just go ask some questions.
Ask questions. Yes, absolutely.
But that was one of the brotherhood stories that it just warms me. It just warms
absolutely.
me. You know what I mean?
And if you're a fraternity Aztec that is watching this, you know, it was just questions.
It was just
asking questions.
We
wanted to know what happened to our brother.
Absolutely.
Why was he in the hospital?
There was no violence towards faces at all. At all. I can tell you that with all honesty. There was nothing happened to their faces at all.
Well, I thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your energy, because you have good energy.
No doubt.
And all those people that were saying, "Oh no, you got Rico Curtis." You see how calm this man is? He's a big teddy bear, you know.
Oh, wait a minute. I may feel like a teddy bear.
Yeah, you gave me this. No, I'm talking about your energy. I'm not talking about your physical stature. But again, appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
I appreciate you, man.
And like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
All those things.
We want to take this to the next level.
Don't we supposed to ring a bell or something too?
I don't know.
Smash the like. That's what they say.
Smash the like
button.
There you go.
That's what they say. Gotta get you out of
these you know, what do you call them? Millennials.
Right. Let's use the whipping snatches. Thundercats like this cat right here.
Oh, I'll take it. You know, I'm 40 this year. You know what I'm saying? You call me a whippersnapper.
You almost there, man. You ain't got none of these.
I know. I'm still a baby face. You know
Bang, right there.
That's that good genes. That's that good genes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I've had this face since I was 12, though, so it's never changed.
So like LeBron James, you know what I'm saying? Michael Franklin. I'll go another Aztec. Michael Franklin looked like he was 40 at 18.
Franks. I played against Franks actually in I played a little arena.
Okay.
And I got to play against Franks real quick.
Got it.
He juked me one time, but I busted his little self too. Yeah,
I had him on the show, but next time he come on the show, I'm gonna have to ask him about that.
Yeah,
I don't think I want to experience Rico Curtis hit.
Oh man,
what's up? I don't want to experience one of those.
I didn't get him clean. I got him good. I didn't get him clean. Though.
Shifty. He's shifty.
He's shifty, man.
Yes.
But it's arena, so it's hardly anywhere for you to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
you gonna catch him at some point.
I'm not no more. You know what I'm saying? Not no more. He got me. He got away. It's all good though. But thanks, man. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
Sure. That was fun.
And we out of here. Peace.
Legacy, 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 legacy.